that we get to connect from wherever we are to wherever we want to be. So again, welcome to 2024 Iamanigerian Conference. And this conference is the Common Vision, Nigeria 2, the Nigeria building, how we want to delve into it. Quickly before we get started, we'll commence with the Nigerian anthem. Thank you so very much. How many of you sang the national anthem? How many of you actually do know how to sing the national anthem? But thank you so much. We must know that national anthem is more than a song. It is a pledge and it is a prayer, not just for the nation, but even for us as citizens of the nation. So I think it's just right that I would say that after the national anthem. Well, if you're just joining us, it is the 2024 Iamanigerian Conference. Our theme for this year is Common Vision, the Nigerian. My name is Faith Jabai, and I will be your moderator for today's event. Quickly, I will be introducing our guests, just giving us a little brief on who our guests are. But just before that, I will take a little introduction, some sort of about Project One, Nigerian Conference, what it is that we actually do and stand for. Project One Citizenship Appreciation Initiative, popularly known as SAN, stands as a formidable forum to gain effective leadership and information. It is established by Bisayo Sari and in 2018. The initiative is rooted in the core value of patriotism, self-reliance, and integrity. One aims to instill a sense of national pride and responsibility among Nigerians, fostering a community dedicated to positive leadership, active decision. This is achieved through various initiatives, if you know as well, such as closing the school initiatives, contribute to the overall development of a vibrant and responsible society. Our vision at Project One is a sustainable system built on political education and citizenship appreciation, starting right from the cradle. And our mission is to instill the Nigerian youth right leadership, political values appropriate for national development through our monthly programs, conferences, campaigns, seminars, production of books, and initiatives and activities. Pretty much that is a very short summary of what Project One stands for. It's going to be such an honor and privilege while we proceed with this event, knowing that we have an array of very good panelists lined up for us to be discussing and Nigeria work building. We have four panelists. Rinsola Abiola, who happens to be the special advisor to the president on citizenship and leadership. We will be having Landry Isa Oniyu, who happens to be the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, NOA. We will also be having Murtala Abdul Mohammed, who is the founder and executive director for Strategy Systems and Policy Lab. We will also be having Adegi Famoti, who is the Senior Director and Principal Research Incubators for research. Down the line, we'll be having them join us online. We'll be discussing Nigeria work returning to a Nigeria work building, whose responsibilities our roles and how do we all play a part in this. Before we get into that, it is with such great honor, great privilege that I will be welcoming no other person than the founder of Project One, the Welcome Acts. Please join me with welcome, Bisayo Busari Kinadi. While she gets to join us quickly, please do feel free wherever it is you're joining us from, Africa, wherever it is from the globe. Please feel free. We will be taking questions much later. So, do you have questions in respect to our themes, a Nigeria worth building, and Nigeria worth returning to? Please get your questions ready. We do have a team online to be interacting and engaging with us. Please drop your questions, drop your comments. Let us know what it is that you'd love our panelists to answer. I've given us just little briefs about who they are, where they were, and their representations and portfolios. I will be doing that even more in depth as we proceed. But should you have questions, something pops on your mind, how do we build a Nigeria? Is Nigeria worth returning to? The whole Japa situation. If you don't know what Japa is, then welcome, the new kid on the block. So pretty much it's the whole, moving out of the country, relocation. So if you want to ask questions in respect to Nigeria, how do we do Nigeria? Where are we in Nigeria? What do you think went wrong with Nigeria? Please do feel free to join. Just beyond joining, drop your comments, drop your questions, drop your suggestions, and then we will be picking them up for our panelists to answer. Do we have our founder BBA right now? If she is here and live and online, we will take our um, welcome address. So while we wait for BBA to join us very quickly, we will move on to our panel discussion. We have two panelists with us already. We do have Nisola Abiola. Quickly take a brief. Nisola Abiola is the senior special assistant to the president. She is also the youth and gender advocate and public professional. As a strategic communication and relations she has over 10 years of experience in the public, private, and non-profit sectors in both yet and ensuring that clients and organizations achieve essential communication goals and establish seamless relationships with federal, state, policymakers, and regulatory authorities. She has proven her building and some key questions for clients and delivering on highly crucial strategic partnerships She is skilled at time tested communication principles, innovative tools and ideas to lead and PR campaigns produce excellent results. Rachel Dana of the International Leadership Program, IBLP, and studies at the Swedish Embassy and the West Foundation for Democracy, WFD. Rachel is such an honor and privilege to have you here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. My mic is unmuted. Can you hear me now?
Hiring to that.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Very low. My voice is very low.
Hiring to that, your voice is very, very, very low. So I can barely pick up what you're saying. Could you kindly?
Well, I'm not sure how to fix that, but I can hear you. I don't think I could project any further than this.
Okay, so while I wait until you get better audio to hear so that I will just introduce our second speaker. Our second speaker is Murtala Adogi Mohammed. Murtala Adogi Mohammed is the founder, executive director of System Strategy and Policy Lab. He is a professionally trained education and environmentalist. His work expertise in almost 2 decades covers planning, policy reform, resource delivery, and system strengthening. He is a former UK government department for international development education advisor. He is the former education specialist at UNICEF Nigeria Country Office, Abuja. Within the time he worked with international development partners, from DFI to UNICEF, he worked closely with 22 governors and several top government officials in 7 states across Nigeria, giving professional support to strengthen the education system and to deliver tangible results. Murtala holds PhD with a specialization in climate change, livelihoods in rural development from the University of Oaxaca, Nigeria. He holds a master's in ecology and environmental sustainability from the University of Aberdeen, Scotland, United Kingdom. He has an MA in development studies from Bayero University, Canada, and then of course he holds a bachelor's in education in biological sciences from Ahmadu Bello University. He's attended other short courses and he's a Japanese scholar, married with 4 lovely children. That's such a profile. Welcome again. Please join me in welcome Murtala Adogi Mohammed. Hello, Murtala. Good morning to you. How are you? Yes, it's very loud patterns. Murtala, can you hear me? Murtala, can you hear me? Murtala, can you hear me? Hi, Marcella.
Hello, I can hear you, but the network is somehow not too good. But can you hear me?
Marcella, very, very helpful. You were maybe I should try somewhere. Okay, hi, Marcella. Can you hear me? Hi, Marcella.
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
We're having a serious network problem. I don't know.
I can hear him clearly, so I'm wondering why she can't hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Yes.
And the audio from your end is not clear as well because we can barely hear you.
Oh, Marcella. I think I can hear. How is the serious network issue? So I thought I had Marcella for a split. So I was trying to use this. Okay. Hi, Marcella. Can you hear me? Can you just say hi?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Amazing. Yes. Good news. Wow. Having you with us this morning. Yet, is the network any better at your end? Okay, so while we're trying to sort out network, Rintola and Mortala kindly do stay online while we try to work on the internet. Would quickly have our welcome address, which we should have had. Our founder, my friend and sister, BBA, is now online. So we will take our welcome address. BBA, over to you. Good morning from Nigeria.
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh,
Good
good
morning.
morning.
This are
Good
you.
morning. Yeah, and happy African Day to every one of us. It's actually a big day for us to be
Yes.
here as Africans, as Nigerians, as nation builders, and respective global citizens in our different places. I'm privileged to have the honor of having Muritala, Rinsola, and committed Nigerians who have joined us on this platform today. Good morning, everyone. So, today I decided not to make a written speech like we usually do, but then to say to every single Nigerian on this platform and those who will watch after this event to say to us that there is indeed a nation for us to build. There is absolutely nothing that I've said before that doesn't stand. All we celebrate in Nigeria on the 1st of October is independence. However, what we actually have is a nation of people who had come from different places, different background, different culture, different languages, and different faiths. And for us to ensure that we actually have a place that people call home, a place that people can be proud of, both far and near, a place that those who are not citizens of this nation can aspire to visit, aspire to be a member of, the way we have our citizens taking on second passport in other nations. Nigeria, I would say it with all sense of responsibility, is the best nation anybody could belong to. It is a country that is blessed in human, natural, mineral, in every form of resources, both actual and potential. And if our forefathers had added on to us a country by ensuring we got independence in 1960, it is now our turn to really make a nation out of the country. It's the same message we've put out at Project One since inception, that Nigerians need to be proud of who they are, be proud of their national identity, and wear the name of this country with that sense of pride. We must also know that every nation calls for responsibility. The nation is not going to build itself, the foreigners are not going to build the country, but you and I. It is not just the responsibility of the first man of the nation or the elected officials of this country to make this country a home worth returning to or a country worth building. It is our joint responsibility as citizens of this great nation to ensure that we put it in the right place where it deserves. And today we have the privilege of having Risola as well, and Mr. Muritala, as many others that would join. We're already working in this space to ensure that the young Nigerian coming up have a country they can actually look forward to, a country they can build, a country they can contribute to. The journey so far had been quite interesting. I think this is our second virtual conference, actually. So apologies for all the itches that had come, but then we keep getting it better. But most importantly, it's the fact that this is a journey that every one of us belong to. When we birth the Nigerian dream, it is from a heart that yearns for the citizens to understand that what we have in our hand is delicate and we need to protect it. And we need to ensure that it is rightly placed in the world where it belongs to. We're not called giants of Africa for nothing. The name came and the name must stand. It will not be in our time, in our years, in our season, that the nation will become a shadow of itself. It is a call for responsibility. We do not go on social media to trash this nation. We go on social media to uplift it because the nation is ours and we must build it. To this end, I say welcome to the Iamanigerian Conference 2024. I call it a new year for us, as also a closing year. So in the past, we would have the national anthem writers, we've had the national flag designer, who unfortunately passed on in September last year. And this year, we decided to go virtual because we've been able to reach more Nigerians, both home and in diaspora. We have more fat reach on virtual platform than the physical conference. And of course, I've had some just this opportunity to mention it, a whole lot of feedback where people say, no, we want a physical conference, you all want to attend. And I promise you, 2025, as God leave it, we're going to still have a virtual and physical conference, this time on a very big platform, probably at the Abuja National Stadium. And the same way we used to hold it in different states, it will hold in different states. What we've decided to do this year is to have this day virtually. On Children's Day, we're in about 6 different states clothing babies in the Nigerian baby park. So the work continues. The conference has never been a one-day event. Sunday, tomorrow, we're going to be in different churches where we'll be praying for Nigeria, the same as we had it yesterday, where the Muslim prayed for Nigeria. And on Monday, we'll be going to the children of this nation to remind them that Nigeria cares for them, that what we're going through is only a problem that needs solution and an opportunity for you to be a problem solver. an opportunity for you to be a part of history. Never look down on your role in Nigeria. Once again, welcome and thank you. And I bring greetings from all Nigerians that I've met right here. I've been to, I don't know how many houses of Nigerians I've been to in the last couple of days. It's the same. Wherever you are, home or abroad, remember to be a brand ambassador of this great nation. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for being there. Faith, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, BBA. So good to see you. It's been a minute. You do look good.
Thank you so
Oh
much,
yeah,
Faith. Happy to see you. Thanks for all the years of being with us.
thank you. Salient
Yeah.
points you have actually raised. Nigeria is not going to build itself. Very, 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 very true words. And I think that has been exactly what Project One has been on for over 5 years, trying to build in its own quarter, one brick at a time, 1 year at a time, 1 month at a time, one initiative at a time, as much as it can. So I will applaud you, BPA. This is such a great vision. This is such a great mission. You've carried it on consistently with such great quality. You should be applauded. Be proud of yourself. So we'll just um, quickly move on to our panel discussions. I would love that BBA does stay with us, so we all get to discuss together. Um, Rinsala and Mortala, hi, are we here? Are we here?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
amazing.
we're here as
Rinsala,
well.
beautiful. So quickly, we will delve into the interview questions. Like we've earlier said, our theme for this year is common vision, a Nigeria worth returning to and a Nigeria worth building. I will start off with Mortala. Looking at the theme, um, common vision in Nigeria worth returning to and Nigeria worth building, what comes to mind? What comes to mind?
Good morning once again, and congratulations to Bisayo and the team, on the One Nigerian platform for putting this together. And I don't know whether it's just a coincidence or it's a well planned that it's happened today. It's a happy African Day. It's a very good moment, and I can say just a couple of days to um, Democracy Day, uh, where Mr. President will be 1 year in office, and all the governors will also be 1 year in office. By next week, Wednesday, it should be May 29. And to the governors and president, they have only 1.5 years to go. Because in the tenure of 4 years, you have only 2.5 years to deliver results. The remaining 1.5 years is for election. So when you mention common vision, this is a very this is a very timely topic to discuss in Nigeria, and I can say categorically clear, we are not yet on a common vision yet. We are just struggling independently, disjointedly, uncoordinated from local government, state, and the federal level to push things based on our interest, based on our culture, based on our norms, based on our beliefs, based on our values, based on our political affiliation, and based on our religion and travel wherever. But when we talk of common vision, it's not there yet. We don't know whether this administration will work to come up with something that has to do with the common vision. Because now let's go back to the issue of even the planning. We have Nigerian Agenda 2050 that was launched in November by President Buhari before he left the last November in its office. And we have National Development Plan 2021-2025 that every state governor need to develop their own plan in line with the National Development Plan that is also aligned to the Agenda 2050. And at the moment, we have President Tinubu 8 key result area, 8 key priority area. So if you look at the Tinubu 8 key result area, the Development Plan 2021-2025, the Agenda 2050, who is coordinating the key deliverables on all these plans? We expect the Ministry of Planning and Budget should be doing that. But are you really doing it? And what is the common vision in all these 3 plans? What are the 3 things that we want to see Nigeria achieved in the next 50 years? That everybody is aware of it. Let me give you a good example of what we call common vision. You can check online to read about what we call Swachh Bharat. Swachh Bharat is a common vision and initiative developed in India about 4, 5, 6 or 7 years ago to make sure that India is no longer number 1 on open defecation. And they use Mahatma Gandhi shape of eyeglasses as a logo. And they make sure all the private sector in India, like MTN, Glo, Airtel, in all their billboard, you will see the shape of Mahatma Gandhi glasses. And below it, they will write Swachh Bharat, meaning keep India clean. And after 5 years, they succeeded. India is no longer the number 1 country with open defecation. So this is what we call the good example of common vision. Another good example of common vision is for a country to clearly articulate their points on how to get to where they want to, and assemble brains and technical expert and technocrat to support in reforming and delivering results timely. Check Rwanda. They have what we call the governance board. Check Rwanda. They have what we call development board. Check Rwanda. They have what we call service delivery mechanism. All these 3 are working. August last year, 19 Nigerian governors visited Rwanda. Under UNDP supported them for a 3-day retreat. The 19 governors came back to Nigeria. None of them has replicated a single thing they have studied in Rwanda. None. Where is the common vision? Check United Arab Emirates. They have what we call the Governance Excellence Centers. All governance decision. In fact, the Governance Excellence Center in United Arab Emirates produce what we call a Minister for the Future and Artificial Intelligence. That is common vision. In United Arab Emirates today, they have a Minister for the Future. A minister that they pay him to think for the future of United Arab Emirates, where Dubai and Sharjah and other parts of United Arab Emirates will be in the next 100 years to come. Where is the common vision here? 19 Nigerian governors visited Rwanda. Under UNDP supported them for a 3-day retreat. The 19 governors. Hello, it's like I'm not hearing myself. Is there a problem with the?
No.
Is it like the recording I'm hearing?
Oh, you can hear a recording?
No, but the
You can go on.
okay.
I think the recording is
So
with him. Sorry.
Should I go ahead?
Yes, please,
Yes.
go ahead.
I'm hearing double. Okay, so what I'm
You're hearing
saying,
double. Sorry, I apologize.
yeah, I'm hearing my previous voice and the current voice. I will recommend maybe next time we look towards using something like Google Meet and others. This stream wherever on the X it has a lot of technicalities.
Yeah. Can you still hear your
Yeah.
echo? Are you good?
Yes, I'm fine now.
Okay, yeah, because we can hear you.
Yeah. So what I'm saying in a
Can you
nutshell
still
is
hear
that
the recording?
no, I'm not hearing the recording like this. So let me just go ahead.
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that until and unless we are serious, we are
Yes.
committed, Unless we are serious and we are committed, and we have the team that are really, really well assembled to solve Nigerian problems and develop a common vision where every governor will key in. The problem with Nigeria is we agree with the leadership, but even the structure, how we are structured. In fact, at the point I was thinking that we could have even allowed Obasanjo to continue with third time and fourth time and fifth time and seventh time and eighth time until he died. Because the way we are structured in a federalism system, every governor has the right to do whatever they think it's okay for him. And if you take education, for instance, about 99.9% of schools in Nigeria are owned by state. So there's a limit to what federal government would do in delivering the reforms in the education sector. The same thing health. So one of the recommendations that I'm thinking, though we are not yet time for recommendation, is to review the entire architecture and structure of Nigerian governance system. What we have now is not working, and it's not going to work in 100 years to come. I'm telling you, in 100 years to come, I that much seeing this model working in Nigeria. Because we have almost 18.3 million children that are out of school. 18.3 million children that are out of school. And the governor today might decide just to be doing flyover in his state without paying attention to primary education, and nobody will do anything for him because federalism gives the governor the power. Mr. President is not in any position to tell the governor not to do flyover. So we have governors that are working independently, disjointedly, uncoordinated, doing things the way they like, and they are the one that we're expecting them to solve Nigerian problems. Because almost all our problems lie squarely at the state level. Federal government is structured to only provide a policy coordination and distribute money every month through federal allocation. The governors are the ones to deliver, but are they delivering? Did they even understand what is expected of them as a governor of a state? So there's a limit to what federal government will do policy, share money. They don't even have a monitoring framework at the federal level to track and monitor what is happening. Look at social investment program that we had. The social investment program, within 4 to 5 months, how the former minister was able to do everything disjointedly and led to her leaving the office. Mr. President set up a committee to review the social investment program for 6 weeks. Now we are 5 months into the committee. No report is out yet. No findings is out yet from the committee. And the committee, 6 ministers are in this committee. Where are we on social investment program? We have no minister for almost 5 months that will work in lifting Nigerians out of poverty. Where is the common vision? What is our common vision in poverty eradication? When China succeeded in lifting their people out of poverty, India are working seriously to lift their people out of poverty. Where are we in Nigeria for the past 5 months? We have no minister. We don't know what is happening. We have a committee of 6 ministers for 6 weeks. They extended their work for 5 months. So I would suggest one Nigerian should maybe come up with some key bullets and catchy points on what Nigerian government should do. This conversation should not only end in experts. This conversation should lead to something that you maybe do a press release on May 29 on a Democracy Day and recommend something that Nigerian government need to do from federal level to state level. Maybe from then they can be able to take it serious and have a common vision. In fact, we need to even define it. What is our common vision? Because if you ask a child in secondary school, now, what's the Nigerian common vision? I have no idea whether they know what is our common vision. So thank you so much for the opportunity to give an overview about what to think about common vision. We will be able to change the narrative, like what Bisayo said earlier. Never look down on your role in rebuilding Nigeria. So no matter how little we are doing, we should continue to do. But there's a lot of work that need to be done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. so that have been made. I mean, after hearing you the kind of examples that you've given, comparing us with others, and the fact that there's so much work to, you know, you've said that, and I think that's exactly why BBA birth, because should we rely on the government, really, government, who are the government? I am the government. Whether or not we're in the hands of power and affairs. You also did touch on the fact that we need a um, monitoring framework, which is really, really true, quite frankly, because the responsibilities be meted and then there is no monitoring, there is no evaluation. How do we get to ascertain that the things that need to be done are actually being done, that the finances that have been, um, given out and tailored for this purposes actually being used and utilized the way they should be used and utilized. You also spoke about social investment programs, also spoke about commitment, not just from the government, but also the teams that have been put in place. I think these are very salient points. I love the fact that you said that these are conversations should not just end on, this space, maybe press releases, just something that goes beyond um, communications and interactions to press releases, something that could quite help us to even define what our common is. Because should you ask 5 Nigerians, what do you think is our common vision? We hear very varying definitions of what our common visions are. So, once again, thank you so much, Mohammed. I mean, I'm just hearing from you just gives us lots of things to think about, lots of things to ponder on, about where we are in Nigeria. How do we move from where we are? And I think that while we proceed with our conversations, we will, at the end of the day, know what our responsibilities, our roles are in terms of contributing to, a Nigeria worth returning to and a Nigeria worth building. Once again, thank you so very much, Mohammed. So I will be moving on to Rinsola. Um, Rinsola, tell me, um, you know, from just picking up from what Mohammed has said, um, who needs to have the common vision as between the politicians, those in government, or the citizens? Or do you even think both of us should have, this common vision? Who do you think, the responsibility of the common vision solely lies on?
So I don't think that the responsibility of a common vision solely lies on one person or on one party. I think it's something that all Nigerians have to buy into and that all Nigerians have to take responsibility for and that all Nigerians have a role in actualizing. So however, with regards to the agenda itself, there's a need for it to be defined very clearly by those leading, but of course with consultation from the people, because a vision is something that you can only sell to people and that you can only achieve when you have the buy-in of the people as well. The current administration is, very particular about renewing the hope of the people. Our tagline during the campaign was renewed hope. The tagline for the administration now, after the campaigns have been won, is renewed hope. And we actually do have a central delivery coordination unit headed by Hajia Hadiza Bala Usman, who is a special advisor on policy and coordination, to ensure that whatever is being done across MDAs actually aligns with the president's vision, with the Renewed Hope Manifesto, and with the policy thrust of this administration and its quest to deliver on prosperity to the Nigerian people in terms of, improved policies and improved outcomes for Nigerians, wherever they may be, however old they might be, and whatever gender they might be, whatever part of the country they might be from. So there is actually quite a lot of work that is being done to ensure that this is an administration that works for the people and that delivers on the people's priorities. And I think one key thing that has happened that I really liked is the issue of the sectoral conversations that we've been having, where ministers are actually being made to give an account of their stewardship to the Nigerian people as part of events to commemorate the 1 year in office of this administration. So those are the kinds of developments that we should be seeing in government across the board that would actually give the people a sense of belonging and make them understand that truly they are stakeholders in the Nigerian project. And I'm really hoping that our leaders at state level can also replicate that kind of approach. The only state that I've seen that has done it as well is Lagos. I'm not aware of it happening anywhere else. And it ties into the point that Dr. Murtala made earlier about the need for leaders at the state level to also key into ensuring that they're doing a good job with having a common vision, a united vision, and on prioritizing the people. So I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done in that regard. And whatever it is that's going to happen again has to be done in consultation with the people, to have the buy-in of the people. And that's where we are. That's the work that we're trying to do. But it's also key that we understand that as citizens, we also have a role to play in, bringing about the Nigeria of our dreams. We have a role to play in also, holding our leaders accountable, in improving the quality of leadership that we have, in making government work for us. We have to understand that the role of a citizen goes beyond just voting on election day. Voting is very important, but even after elections have been won, you have to keep engaging your leaders, and you have to ensure that they're actually working for you, the people. So we need to understand our roles and our responsibilities as citizens as well, and continue to engage from a place of love for our country, because it is when you love Nigeria that you want the best possible outcomes for Nigeria. And when that guides your interactions, your engagements, you will see that whatever it is that you do will be from a place of what will help this country to grow, and what would help this country to really work for all of us, and not acting out of spite because perhaps your preferred candidate didn't win, or because you don't like the face of your governor or your president or whoever it is that you're talking to. We just have to understand that love for country is the most important thing, and that is what should unite us as a people.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rinsola. Very, very salient points you have made. I love that you said love for country is what should actually be the most important thing, because quite frankly, even in our social spaces, you can see that lots of conversations are being driven out of spite, out of betrayal, hate, anger. Nigeria that is worth returning to, a Nigeria that is worth building, then we must be able to engage from a place of love. I also love the fact that you've quite stated very, very important and needed initiatives that are ongoing. Things like this we get to hear these things, because once people get to know that, oh, there are conversations that are being held in respect to areas of their pain points, then I think that's very, and I think that's the whole essence of Project One: mental sensitization. That people know that, oh, while the citizens are hurting or unhappy, government is doing something about it. So if you'd ask me prior to these conversations, I wouldn't have quite known, excuse me, that the sectoral conversations are being held, as beautifully as you have stated it, that we have ministers giving account, and all of that. So I think these are informations and vital communications that should be cascaded across board down to the cradle, to know that, look, we just do not have ministers that are just occupying offices, but we do have sectoral conversations that are being held, will continually be held, to hold these people in offices, accountable. I also love that you did mention that our agenda has to be defined very clearly. I think between yourself and Mr. Murtala, that is one thing that has been stated and cannot be overstated. The fact that our agenda has to be defined very clearly, in clear terms. Are we doing this? What are we doing? How are we doing it? When are we doing it? What should be expected? Who is doing what? Very clearly. So I think that is something that we also need to very closely look at. What exactly is, just like what Mr. Mutala said, what is our common agenda? What is our common vision? You yourself, Mr. has also stated it, that our agenda has to be very clearly defined by those leading. And I love the fact that you did carry citizens along by saying that it is very important that we also do have consultations with people. I think growing up, definition of democracy was government for the people, by the people, with the people, for the people. It just had to do with people, 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 and not a or a cabal as the case may be. So I do feel that people, not just feel, believe, just like Rinsola has stated, that our agenda should be coined, defined, explained clearly, with consultations with the people. Bisayo, do you want to chip in? I can see you do have something to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Faye. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed and Risola. Thanks for those beautiful contributions. There are a few things I want to mention, and that will take us to one of the reasons why the theme for this year, 2024, is the common vision. Nigeria has come through a lot, and I'll use the young man's balance. They say you're going through a lot, and a lot is going through you. And definitely, that's the reality of what we have in Nigeria at the moment. I am someone who had always advocated that you stay positive about your country, but we definitely cannot ignore the fact that there's a lot that is currently going wrong in Nigeria. In recent conversations with people, I've had to share with them that you can be at war without knowing that you're at war. And sometimes war doesn't necessarily have to be war between two warring communities. I'm talking about within Nigeria now. But that state of unrest, lack of peace, lack of security, where death is not too far if you're not taking accurate measures to make sure you stay alive. So today in Nigeria, that message of hope is something that, of course, we need to bring it up and bring it up. I'm still going to common vision. But if I remember the years when I started as a young child or when I was growing, it was the military era. And the very first picture or face of a change that Nigeria would have was when we had the Hope 93. And between that time and now, I could say that the Nigeria I was quite passionate about as a child at that time is still the Nigeria I'm passionate about, but we've gone through a whole lot of waters, we've crossed a lot of hurdles. And so I was actually glad when the theme for the party that is currently in power this year was renewed hope. Because indeed, hope had started waning in the hearts of so many Nigerians. And all Nigerians needed was that glimpse to tell them that there's still hope in your future. And so when the agenda was renewed hope, I was quite happy and actually believe that hope can be rekindled and hope can actually come to fruition in our lives. But we must all know, I'm still going to come on vision. We must all know that we all have to play a part. You can't rejoice when dollar is rising and pound is rising because you have stacked some and you think, oh, I'm making money. You're killing yourself and killing your future. Yes, you might earn in foreign currencies, but you must always put nation first. Rinsala mentioned that the love of country first, because at the end of the day, anything that goes wrong with this country will still bounce back on you, either you like it or not. So I was just going through some of the things I was trying to put down. A country that once inspired me. I won't talk about Singapore today. We know how they moved because they had a vision of moving from being referred to as a third world country in a stranded, and with all the story they had to go through, they were able to move to being a first world country. I'll talk about a country that also is very on the list for me. That's Dubai. And that's because that was a country, not a country, United Arab Emirates, but Dubai itself, that was an emirate that looked at itself, know that I am in a desert, and decided to make something out of a bad situation. So over the years, if you read the book of the of Barack Obama when he was going to contest the change we believe in, change we can believe in, one of the things he was talking about was trying to tell the people that, oh, I know things are bad. We're in Afghanistan, we're in Iraq, economy has gone back, the American dream is dead. And he came up at that time to challenge the people and tell the people that I can actually bring a change to this country. And this is the change you all can believe in. So every country goes through this time when it looks like things are dying. What is worrisome if is nobody is doing something about it, or if we're not doing strategic something about it. So you have a country or an emirate like Dubai currently have a 2030 goal, which is to develop or elevate Dubai into a global platform for knowledge-based, sustainable, innovation-focused businesses. American dream had always been every person has the freedom and opportunity to succeed and attain a better life. Vision is something that every human being must have, and in extension, every corporate organization, and in extension, every nation. If you do not have a vision of where you're going to, then you can as well go in every direction because there is nothing keeping you focused. United Nations, when they were created, they have one central mission, maintenance of international peace and security. It would definitely help you to streamline and work towards the same goal, such that whoever is contesting in 2027, 2031, know that the vision they will pick must align with the national vision that we have created for ourselves. I was recently in Kenya like 2 weeks ago, and of course, you could see that they are building so much around tourism. They're trying to develop their own economy. They have a vision 2030, which is also to have a newly industrializing middle income country, providing a high quality of life to all its citizens. So they have that goal as well. But Nigeria as well, we have a strategic vision. If you probably check some of our documents lying at on tables in different offices, we talks about our commitment to human rights, gender equality, empowerment of women, protecting children, harnessing the transformative power of youth. But I want to take us back to something that I think we have all ignored. And there's an adage that says a water, it's a Yoruba adage, but I'll say it in English, that a water that forgets its source will soon run dry. So if Nigeria, as we stand today, we do not go back to where we're coming from to check out what were the things that had been said, what were the plans of our forefathers when this nation was brought together, when they went to ask for independence, and the man from the north joined the man from the east, and the man from the west all came together with the women that supported them, went on ahead to say we needed to have a country of our own. There was a vision. What is that vision? Have we lost out on the vision? Do we even know the vision? Is it codified in a particular document? And if it is it available to the Nigerian children and Nigerian classrooms and homes? Definitely probably what Project One had been doing. And that's why I said Project One is coming to the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. Because all we've done, like the name suggests, Project One, is to talk and go for one person and expand it. But we've come to that place where now we actually are moving beyond just an individual, but taking it on a national level because we need to move very fast. Nigeria is growing at a very rapid rate, and we need to know. So I'll refer us to a statement that was contained in the second National Development Plan. That was between 1970 and 1974. That was immediately after the Civil War. Nigeria came together, or our leaders at that time, and they had 5 national development goals. When I look at those goals, I ask myself, have we achieved one out of the 5? I would say no. Do we even know that we had something like this in that past? Now, this national development plan had always been replicated here in, I mean, I'm talking about 1970, 1974, because it's quite important, because that was a time when within ourselves we fought, we wanted to go our separate ways, but we came back together to say, okay, we can work together to do this. And then we're talking about having a free and democratic society. That's one. So I would say, are we working towards having a free and democratic society? The government has tried. We currently have in power today a civilian who has not translated from being a military man to becoming a civil man, but a civilian right from the start in power. So if you really want to have a true democratic society, I think we're starting it. I've always told everybody, this current government for me is the beginning of the growth we are going to see. So we might not expect too much, but they're going to lay a lot of foundation for those of us coming for the younger Nigeria to bring on. So we were to build, which was what was agreed on after the war, the civil war, to build a free and democratic society, to build a just and an egalitarian society, a just where there's no justice, there's no peace. When a common man knows that the courtroom cannot save him, then there's no hope. So when we talked about the process of electing our leaders, which is a democratic system, and we're talking about having a just society where you know that when you take your case to the police station, it will be judged on the merit of its worthiness and not because of who you are or who you know. A united, strong, and self-reliant nation being the third goal. Are we united? How do we get united? Are we strong against all forces? And I'll just mention something in diversion. I tell people that it's good for us to sing the song of colonialism. Oh, they colonized us. Oh, they came from the waters. They took our pride. They made us slaves. What stops another nation coming into Nigeria today in court to colonize us, either scientifically, mentally, or in every other way? Are we strong? Are we building strength as a nation? Or are we bickering and fighting ourselves and not bringing and building a fortress that cannot be easily broken into? If anybody come into Nigeria today, maybe with superior firearms, with nuclear weapons, would they be able to colonize us a second time? These are questions we don't talk about or we don't reason out. We know we're strong people, but we need to bring it to force. So it was agreed then that we're going to be the united, strong, and a self-reliant nation. Are we self-reliant as a nation? I wrote an article recently, which has not yet been published, that our taste bud is foreign. Almost every one of us, our taste bud is very foreign. An average person want to wear the Gucci brand. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Those are businesses. But then we need to start developing local businesses, local content, and we need to start promoting ourselves. Yes, I will buy my Gucci, but then I'll buy my brother Abba made. And Nigerians also need to be proud of the products they also produce. Don't make a product and name it Gucci. Call it Chineke, call it Chidima. Let us be proud of whatever product that is coming from us, and then we start patronizing and building indeed a great and a dynamic economy. And it is also said that we wanted to have a land that is full of bright opportunities for all citizens. That was what the United States of America had. A goal to bring up all its citizens, to give them that sense of belonging, bright opportunities for all citizens. Nigeria is big, there is no doubt about it. I recently was engaging some people in the United Kingdom on something, and I said, "Your country, you're not up to 100 million. Nigeria is over 200 million. So we're not talking on the same dimension. We're not talking on the same level. The complexity of building a nation like Nigeria is there. The awareness must be there. Nigerian citizens must know that we occupy a land space of less than a million and we're over 220 million. As at the last count of many years ago. And of course, God bless my brothers and sisters, including me, with many children. So we keep populating. But then are we growing at the same rate at which we're expanding? Talking about these five visions and the other ones now, the project one will be putting out on the 29th of May, which is going to be a combined work of so many people. So we've had this conference, we're holding this conference online and virtually, but then we're starting a new journey, a more aggressive campaign across the nation, across Africa, remembering the words of people like Nelson Mandela, remembering many other African nations that look up to Nigeria for direction, knowing that we owe the future generation a whole lot of responsibility to make sure that they're coming into a nation that they can be proud of. There's a lot that has to happen. This, for me, like I said, marks the end and the beginning of a new way, dimension of doing things. We need to get as fast as possible to Nigerians, home and abroad. We need to understand what it means to have a home that people can actually come back to. When you meet people in diaspora, you understand there's a yearn for home. So my friend was telling me recently, he said African foods are quite expensive in this country, but we can find it back home. But then, do you want to come back to Nigeria? Yes, we want to come back. But then, when I look at what I earn here and what I could earn there, I want to work, but do I have opportunity of working? So, self-reliant messages, opportunities, we need to be putting it out, engaging with citizens. I'm so happy to have Rinsola here because I think I'm going to be right behind her and to say, where are our citizens? We need to use the power of who we have. We have numbers. Not everybody have this number. They don't have 220 million citizens in that small space of country. People who are intelligent, because you might think Nigerians are super smart. Every tribe in Nigeria, they are super smart. That's why when they get into other climb, they are excelling. So a common vision, we will keep building it, and then eventually hope we're able to develop a document that will be adopted under this current government. As I said, I believe that under this renewed hope government, we should be able to forge ahead better than ever before and have this common vision document that is not just in the classrooms, but even in the marketplaces, in everywhere, everybody know what we're working towards, what the nation is working towards. So when the journey is tough, even though it is tough, you can see the end from the beginning.
Mhm.
You can see where we're going, and then we can go through it knowing that this pain is just for a short time because this is where we're going to. But if you cannot see an end in view, the pain, the loss, the hardness, the harshness, the poverty, the death, and the whole lot that are happening in the society would definitely weigh any human being down. And that is what we're going to work towards with every meaningful member of Nigeria that is willing to join us on this journey. So, indeed, when we're having the next Nigerian conference, it is indeed going to be a representation of all Nigerians, both home and abroad, and in numbers, because we need to have that platform where we come together.
Mhm.
Project One has started it. I'm expecting that we're not going to be working against ourselves, but we're going to be solidifying efforts, working together to make sure that we actually have that conference where Nigerians believe they have a voice and they are working towards a common vision. Thank you so much, Faith.
Amazing, amazing, BBA. Amazing. Thank you so much for your very beautiful contributions. Sometimes when you speak, you're like a walking encyclopedia, merging the past, the present, and then looking, at the future in view. But thank you so very, very much. So I'll just move on to Mohammed. Um, how do you think we can actually get to the place where we all desire to be? How do we get there? I mean, we've all agreed, we've all spoken so beautifully, extensively about the issues that bedevil the nation, responsibilities, roles, where we are coming from, past glory. But how now do we actually get to the place where we all desire to be? How do we return to the Nigeria, or most likely, if there's no even return, how do we even build, the Nigeria that we all desire? Mr. Mohammed, please. Hello, Mr. Mohammed, can you hear me? I can't seem to hear him. Can anyone else hear him? Can anyone else hear him? Bibi, can you hear Mr. Mohammed? Can you hear him?
I can't hear Mr. Mohammed, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
And I
Okay,
think
so
Risola is also here.
okay, so okay, most likely then I think we'll just move from Mr. Mr. Please, could you share in your own words, your own opinion, your own views, how do you think, Rintola, that we could get to the place where we all desire? I think we've lost Rintola as well.
Yeah, she said she's having connectivity issues.
Oh, I apologize. Technology, I apologize. Mr. Mohammed, I can see you're back. Um, can you hear us? Okay, while they're still all trying, Mr. Mohammed, please just pick up whenever um, you get better connectivity. But in the interim, BBA, from
Yeah.
our conversations that we've had, I mean, if you look at where Nigeria was, where Nigeria is, and where we hope that Nigeria should be, it looks like such a big, big dream, such an impossible dream. Some people have even given up on Nigeria, apart from few people like yourself who are driving and tenacious about the Nigerian dream and the Nigerian vision. Do you think there is hope if there is hope, just like what I've been asking Misola and Mr. Mohammed himself, how when some people, oh, this is possible, the next question you hear is, okay, so how? So how? So what would you say? If there is hope, I do know there is hope, but how? How do we get to the Nigeria that we desire? We all agree that we desire a better Nigeria, not be the Nigeria our children have to meet or our children's children have to meet. We all agree that it is a joint responsibility from not just the government, but also from we the citizens. But then how? When purpose is not known, or a how is not known, it's difficult for people to actually play their roles as expected. So mental sensitization, the onus lies on us to be able to educate and sensitize people to know that, okay, there's a new Nigeria is possible. However, this is what you should do, this is what I should do, this is what the government should do. So in your own words, BBA, how do we get to the Nigeria that we all desire?
Thank you so much, Faith. So I'm going to address it from two um, perspectives. I identify more with people than those
Mm-hmm.
in power. And the reason why that is there's something we used to say in Preacher One that by the time you count the number of people who had been Nigerian president, they're not up to 20 human beings. And then we put all the problem on the 20 human beings.
Mm,
While leadership comes with a very, very, very deep sense of vision that you need to have and give to your people, I tell everybody you don't want to wait on everybody. Don't
mm-hmm.
wait on anybody. And in the past, this statement, I always put it in quotes so you do not misquote it. I say, sack government in your life. For you to keep hope alive, you first of all need to have a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between those who are thriving in Nigeria and those who are not is having the right information. And that's where those in the ministry that has to do with information has a lot of work to do. Meaning, if you're talking of opportunities for Nigerians, you need to let them know. How do we get our ticket meal? An average Nigerian today that says hope is dead or wants to japa or has japa had to do it for two major reasons. Two major reasons: security and self sustenance. And then you hear things like, I'm doing this for my children. And the reason why most of them are about to do it is you're not sure where your next meal ticket is coming from. Now, leaving security issues, which is currently being handled by the professionals, leaving that aside for them. But to mention on the economy part of it, which is very important, is the third core value for Project One called self reliance. And that's why sometimes last year we started what we call the Worldy Club, just to mention some of the things we've been trying to do. The whole essence is to help bring Nigerians to a place where you can at least provide the three basic things for yourself: clothing, shelter, and food. When these three things are sorted in a man's life, hope is easy to say, oh, Nigeria will get better. But if the man is starving and you're saying there's hope in the country, the man say, hope where? Just let me go through the desert. I don't mind dying on the road. Maybe I'll find job. Why do you think they're going through those stress? Maybe I'll find a better life. Maybe because somebody told them there's a greener pasture. What is greener pasture for most of them? It's not to live in a cold environment. It's to be in a place where they know, oh, I can take care of myself and probably send money down to the remaining family members. Meanwhile, Nigeria is a country that is rich, but its people are not rich. And when I say people, I mean majority. We've got the most, for a long time, Dangote was the richest man in Africa. For a long time, Folorunsho Alakija. These are Nigerians. And so many other millionaires and billionaires that we know in the country. But that does not stop or change the fact that there are a lot of Nigerians who are struggling to make ends meet. Financial literacy. So it comes to, like I said, information. Nigerians need to understand how to make money in Nigeria, not relying, not sense of entitlement from government, from families who are relocated abroad or anything, but from within Nigeria. How do I turn my product to money? How do I turn my services to money? And that's why we set up the Worldy Club. And we hope to give it a louder voice also in this new year that Project One is entering into, to help Nigerians know how to be self-reliant. If you see the vision of the 70 to 74 national development goals, he also mentioned about having a nation that is self-reliant. Beyond, if the nation is self-reliant, that means the nation is depending on its own citizens, on its own
Mm-hmm.
production. And then this production definitely needs to be done by Nigerians. If you go to a place like Abuja, where I reside, basically, you will see a lot of other Lebanese and all that coming in, setting up industries, setting up furniture businesses. Nigerians need to know that whatever will make anybody leave their own country to come here, why can't I also make it while I'm here? So, but
Mm-hmm.
what is missing is gap, and then we need more support from government to actually make business easier. I understand the importance of taxation in generating income, but then you will not kill somebody who is already almost dying. So we need to have a supporting government. We need to have information in classrooms, on social media. We need to have it on our televisions. The NTA platform should be a place where these things are promoted, where things that we do even on Project One level are promoted, not for fees, not for, sometimes I tell, as much as I try not to mention it, when I take money from my own salary and in the private space in Nigeria and I use it for public purposes, and when I'm using it for public purposes, public will still charge me.
Mm-hmm.
They will still put that. It could be a bit worrisome or
Yeah.
burdensome, because I could as well just say, okay, I'm just an individual or just one person. But then we must all know we all have to work together. The agencies, the government parastatals, all of us must help the other Nigerian. You can't treat somebody with another color better than you would treat your own citizen. We must accord ourselves respect. You can't talk to a policeman anyhow. A policeman should also give you your own respect, reciprocity. We must all work together as one. That's the essence of having one Nigeria. Until we realize this, we'll be wounding ourselves, we'll be hurting ourselves. Don't go and hoard the dollar so that price will go higher, you make more profit, and you
Yeah.
think you can actually have a nation that is prosperous. So we have so much to do on an individual level. On an individual level, because like I said, Nigeria is vast, it's big, is beautiful. Some of us, when I was in Kenya last week, I mentioned it earlier, and of course, I was on their safari. Amazing place. You need to see many people from all over the world who came to the safari. Where we lodged, there were so many people who came with their family. Well, we have Yankari. We have it. We
Yeah, we do.
definitely have it. We
Yeah.
need to promote the things we have. Whatever looks, they have places where they have a lot of monuments. They have museums. We have museums. We have the art gallery. We need to push these things forward, and knowing that in pushing these Nigerian projects, Nigerian businesses, it will help better the economy. If someone's business is expanding, then the person can recruit more people. But if you put too much burden on the business and the business folds up, then you have five more people on the street looking for more job. So the government will definitely need to support businesses to encourage expansion. And in expansion, you can employ more people. And in employing
Yeah.
more people, when you employ, if Project One currently has about 20 people altogether being paid, that 20 people have at least five people attached to their salaries that are benefiting. That's 100
Mm-hmm.
in the small form,
Yeah.
125 or 120.
Mm-hmm.
You had it all together, you just realize that if we help businesses, if we help Nigerians succeed, we're actually helping the nation. And when you are handed over any task, let us do it with that excellence. Because if that's what's missing, that's what also is missing. We don't deliver with excellence. We don't deliver with excellence. We need to deliver with excellence. There is nothing more when you use a public restroom, please flush it. Please
Mm-hmm.
do it. It
Mm-hmm.
looks simple,
Yeah.
but my
Yeah.
takeaway from Kenya is almost went to their shopping mall, the restrooms were clean. In the bush, the safari toilets were clean. In the
Yeah.
bush, I was
Yeah.
wondering. So
Yeah.
if people are doing their job the way they should
Mm,
do it, not
mm.
nobody's saying me, just sit down, let me collect my salary. No, you're wounding yourself. When we do our part, when we play our part, we'll be shocked. So please let
Yeah.
hope be in our hearts. Let's look for how to
Mm.
survive. There are a lot of information now on social media, all of us. especially the younger generation. We're on social media. Don't use social media as a place to go and wound yourself. Use it to learn. Go on YouTube, learn a skill. Learn a skill and translate that skill to money so that you can survive in a legitimate way while the government and everybody supporting them are putting these policies in place for us to come into. We all need to play a role. If we leave it for those in government alone, the pain we will feel it more than those in government. So it is time
Very
for
true.
us to wake up on time and start working together and ask the right questions. What can I do? Join the Nigerian platform. Join,
Mm,
bring your ideas, send suggestions. It's not a closed group, it's an open group. Oh, I need to do this. I tell everybody who join and wants to have a project. I remember one lady joined us and I asked her, what is it that you are not happy about in Nigeria? She said, I can't stand Nigerian drivers. They're just so lawless. So I said, start a campaign in that angle. Start going to the different parks, educating them on the need to wear their seatbelt, on the need to observe this and that. Anything you do not like in Nigeria, take it up as a project and start
yeah.
working to make sure it is reformed. And that's how hope will spread across all our hearts while we survive in the
Mm.
meantime. Thank you.
Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so very much, BBA. I can see that we do have Mr. Mohammed here with us. Mr. Mohammed, can you hear us? Can you hear us? I can see that he's unmuted, but I still can't hear him. BBA, can you hear
No, I
Mr.
can't
Mohammed?
hear him.
Oh my. I would have really loved to hear his views
Yeah,
and
is
opinions about
yeah.
what we're discussing. But while we wait on for him, I just want to quickly just buttress on a couple of things that you had mentioned. Um, you did mention that how we can actually achieve the Nigeria that we desire, dream, and hope for is that we must all work together. You know, we cannot a nation fighting against itself cannot prosper, cannot grow, cannot make it. So I love the fact that you did touch on unity. And if those in power are united front, and then we the citizens are not a united front, how do we achieve the Nigeria that we desire? So the onus lies on each and every one of us, not just those in the helms of affairs, but even us as citizens, to know that me being united with my neighbor, me being united with my colleague in the office is driving the common vision of Nigeria forward. You also did mention that there's so much to be done on the individual level, which I think is very important because usually when you talk about Nigeria and the problems, bedeviling this nation, everybody just looks at the government, everybody just looks at their governor, everybody just looks at their in the office. So we just easily points fingers at other people, forgetting that we ourselves, have a role to play. And the fact that at individual levels, and I think that's one of the vision and mission of Project One, sensitization and even from the cradle. So people know right from when they are very little that, look, I have a responsibility. I am Nigerian. It's not a mistake. I have a role to play. I do not just bear the Nigerian identity because of birth, but I do bear the responsibility of being a Nigerian, and then I had to play my part. One thing you also did mention is the fact that we have to deliver with excellence. So usually when you want work done, you prefer to buy something that is made from foreign countries just because you believe in their quality. Just like, oh, it's a designer bag, it's a designer shoe. And you're like, oh, it's designer. Nobody gets to question, oh, is the finishing neat? How did they make it? What kind of fabric did they use? Because it's just not Nigerian, everybody assumes that it's great quality. Everybody pays whatever amounts that we could pay just to get, there's pride in just holding things that are not Nigerian. And I think it still boils down to just what you've mentioned, delivering with excellence, delivering with great quality. If all of us would get down to do what we need to do, irrespective of what you're a plumber, mechanic. Sometimes you just use one mechanic, you're tired, use another mechanic, you're tired, use another. You're like, what's the problem? So it's not just about how big or how small your responsibility or your job is. Just do what you need to do and do it well. That is part of nation building. And I think at the end of the day, just to cap up everything you've said, no one can rewrite our narrative better than ourselves. So when we have bad narrative about Nigeria, bad publicity, negative media about Nigeria, I mean, it's funny that once there's problem, or not even any problem. You know, sometimes I hear about things happening in for example, I reside in Abuja. I hear about things happening in Abuja from social media. But me that I'm resident in Abuja, like I'm fine. Like I don't there's really no chaos or panic as social media or international media gets to sell out this information. So I think we have a responsibility as well to push out what's good that's happening in Nigeria. There's a good reform, there's a positive reform. Push it out as much as you criticize the bad reforms. So yeah, it is our responsibility to rewrite our narrative because nobody can rewrite our narrative better than ourselves. I think we've lost, we currently do not have Rain Solar, and we currently do not have Mohammed, um, you know, online. So most likely we will just be, wrapping up and winding down on our discussions. But it's been a beautiful time having you, BBA,
Thank you.
discussing and handling these questions. So I will just ask, these things that we've mentioned, I will have asked if it's achievable in our lifetime. But from all we've said, of course, it is achievable in our lifetime. We are living epistles and testimonials of the fact that it is achievable. If anybody does have a doubt, Project One should be your point of hope that it is achievable, that a Nigeria that we dream about can be found, can be gotten, and can be achieved. I just want to ask, do you think our diversity is a strength or a weakness in attaining this vision? Especially because you do know that we have, considering the fact that we have tribal divides, religious divides, and public divides. Do you think that our diversity is a strength, or do you think it is a weakness? While we wrap up.
Definitely, definitely. What we've heard over the years that there is strength in diversity is very true. Our diversity is a plus. But I like one of the things you mentioned earlier, talking about us shaping our own narrative. There are some things called political intentionality. So I'm interested a bit in politics and how they run it. And I know that there are narratives you push for selfish agenda. So if you want to know the time that you know that we're very different, or where that push or the campaign against our differences come from, mostly from those who have political intentions sometimes
Mhm,
and
mhm,
those who profit by it. Because when Nigeria is playing football, it's the cheapest example I could give. Very cheap. I don't need to buy it. When we're playing football, it's Nigeria. You don't care if it's Okocha that scored or if it is Taiwo or Sia. You don't care at that time. You just want
yeah.
Nigeria to do well. When you go outside this country and you hear a Nigerian music, you are not asking, oh, is Davido Yoruba or is Flavor Hausa? At that point, oh, Niger music. When the things are right, people forget the differences.
Mhm,
I tell
mhm,
everybody it's easy for us to
mhm,
say, "Oh, we are different. Let's go." There's you are never going to have an homogeneous nation. It's not possible. There's nowhere in the world that is. If you go to the Yoruba tribe right now, we have the Akokos, we have the Jebus, we have the Jesha, we have the Oyos, we have the Ekiti. We're diverse. So it is a beautiful thing, and it's the one of the most ignored products that Nigeria has.
mhm,
I look forward to that time when this nation would celebrate this diversity in a very beautiful way. The world is shouting diversity in terms of a whole lot of other things, gender and all that. And here we are, so diverse by nature, by culture, by language, in sizes, in shapes, in colors, in beliefs, in mannerism, in what we focus on. It's like having a family of three different children, talking about three major tribes. Nigeria about 250 ethnic groups. But with the three major tribes, so if you have somebody who knows how to do business, empower that person. Let him be the business front for the nation. You have somebody who knows how to arrange things, manage things, coordinate things, empower. And in any way, you all know we all can work together. So it will start from the top, really. If you go to primary schools, they said race is not inborn; it is taught. A white
Yeah.
child and a black child will see themselves, that training picture, hug themselves. Then later on, as they're going, someone says, "No, who's that?" And that is it. And then a black person too will tell his or her children and say, "You see those white people." Mm-mm. And so we keep building it. We keep building the gap. We are meant to bridge the gap. The world is not going to get. We've been led by so many people all over the world. There are differences, not just in Nigeria, in every places, in every tribe. If you're in the United Kingdom, this one is speaking one level of English. You can't hear this one. You can't hear that one. In fact, they talk about your accent. Even they talk about their different accents here too. They know they have
Mhm.
different, so they are different. Oh, this is Scottish food. Oh, this is England. This is English. This is this. They all have their differences. And I won't mention him, but we had recently a case in the world where some people believe, no, we no longer want to do together. We want to go our separate ways. The aftermath of them thinking they needed to have the exit has not been too positive. That's a case in study for us to look at. Is the solution really in being one thing, which is not possible because even twins are different, not to talk of a nation. So it is our strength. Our number is our strength. Our geographical location is our strength. Our differences. Let me make a joke. There's this song that was raining. What they meant for evil can be turned for good. When
Mm.
Nigeria was amalgamated, the northern and the southern, and when we were all brought together, they said it was for a business purpose. It would be wrong for us to see it as that, and we have not made business of it ourselves.
Mhm.
Meaning, if they brought us together for commercial reasons, have you also looked at it and say, okay, it means this thing is profitable? Nigeria is very profitable. It's a prosperous company, not just a nation, a business. And I make a joke. I said I went to study an MBA, and when people were writing the reasons why they're studying MBA, I want to grow this business. I said I just need to understand more because I see my country as a great economy that can be developed. And how do we build businesses in this nation, this beautiful country? Our diversity is our strength.
Mhm. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so very much. While we wrap up, I love that you mentioned that our diversity is one of our most neglected positive products that is not being celebrated as it should be. And I think that is such a beautiful place to round up on our converses. Once again, I will just really love to thank you, BBA, for joining us. It is your event. You are our host. However, thank you so much for the salient and very important observations and contributions that you have made on build. I will also love to thank our who joined us. But for internet, thank you so much, Rinsola Abiola. I did mention that Rinsola on citizenship and leadership, beautiful contributions in respect to our theme. And for your time. Thank you so much for your more so. I would also like to Mohammed. I did say that here's the our system strategy and policy lab. Thank you for as long as this conversation took on because from the very start, you could know that Mr. Mohammed was ready. He came with fire, he came with zest, he came with zeal to speak about you know our topic of discuss. And Risola as well, coming from the government angle, it would have been very enlightening to have her educate of the government currently is, so we know that work is being done, work will continually be done, and part. Once again, If you've stayed this long with us online, I must appreciate all our online participants. We do have quite a number of people here in person. Thank you so much for making out time out of your very busy Saturday. Thank you. Thank you. We do say thank you. We're joining you live from Abuja, Nigeria, and we are very appreciative of your presence and your time. So I will just take a couple of very few announcements. In Bagada General Hospital, Maitama, in Bagada General Hospital, Maitama District Hospital, General Hospital Ikare, and Dash Specialist Hospital Lafia. I'll take that again. So wherever you are, spread across the spaces that I have mentioned, if you are very close, or you can make your way to Bagada General Hospital, Maitama District Hospital, General Hospital Ikare, and Dash Specialist Hospital Lafia. Please follow up with us on all our social handles. We are live on Instagram, we are live on Facebook, we are live on Twitter. I am one Nigerian. So please follow us up on all our social handles. More announcements will be coming on there. So if you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, it is same name. I am one Nigerian. Please feel free to engage with us. Would love to hear from you. If you're a part of this conference, please just drop a comment. What stood out to you? What was your take home? What were your nuggets? What did you learn? What would you want us to engage more about? And we will be glad to hear from you. So we will be closing up, and we started out with the Nigerian national anthem. So we will be closing out with the pledge. Thank you so much for being a part of the 2024 I Am a Nigerian Conference. My name is Faith Jabai, and it's been such an honor and privilege to have you with us. I do look forward to seeing you for the I Am a Nigerian Conference 2025. We've done this consecutively for over 5 years, so I am most certain that in 2025 it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better, and I look forward to seeing you. Shall we all take the Nigerian pledge, which is a prayer? And like the word, it is a pledge. So as you say out the pledge, do know that it is a call to duty, and do live it out, not just today, but every day of your life. So the Nigerian pledge. I pledge to
To
Nigeria, my
Nigeria, my
country,
country, to be
to be
faithful,
faithful,
loyal,
loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. Amen. Thank you so very much. It is I Am a Nigerian Conference 2024, and we, all of us from here, are signing out and saying, have a beautiful, beautiful day. You are a Nigerian. You should be proud of it. Thank you, and God bless.